Hey everybody, welcome to Mainly Movies. The first trailer was just released for the third Conjuring movie, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. The name's definitely a bit of a mouthful, but I'm very excited for this movie, especially since it was supposed to be released last fall. Although the rest of the Conjuring universe is a bit of a mixed bag, I'm a big fan of the first two Conjuring films, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga back at it as Ed and Lorraine Warren. I gotta admit, I'm a little concerned because this is the first of the core Conjuring films that James Wan isn't directing, but I'm still hopeful that this one will be up to par with the first two. At the very least, the Conjuring universe has always had some really good trailers, so let's check it out.
You okay there? Jesus.
How do you not notice that when you drive past the guy?
This is Ed Warren, here with Lorraine. All right, let's get started.
Residents of Brookfield were shocked this afternoon by the broad daylight murder of Bruno Sauls.
The court accepts the existence of God every time a witness swears to tell the truth. I think it's about time they accept the existence of the devil.
And they got like Ed as a
What's going on?
expert witness or whatever in court. That's interesting.
Marnie?
It's a witch's totem. We think your family was cursed. And that connection's still open.
So we got another possession.
I'm only
Oh, man.
interested in reality.
But I can see things that your people can't.
Interesting that they're like working in conjunction with the police here. It's a new way to approach one of these stories.
Something terrible happened here.
A master Satanist.
That was a very Exorcist homage there.
She's doing it again. She's reaching out to the darkness.
Lorraine, you need to come back.
Is saving him worth everything you have? Because that's what Mayfair will cost me.
Lorraine?
Talk about a cliffhanger. Okay. So that was surprisingly good. I guess I shouldn't say surprisingly. I don't know. I really had this kind of sense that it was going to be so different without James Wan, that it was going to be kind of underwhelming or disappointing. And who knows, maybe the film will be, but at least from the trailer, I think this looks really good. Definitely has a slightly different vibe than the first two. This one seems to be almost more of like a police procedural drama kind of thing, with this sort of investigation in conjunction with the police. I think that's a very interesting thing. We see Ed testifying in court, and so that's a different thing than what we've seen before. You know, the first film was very much like just Ed and Lorraine with this family. The second one was Ed and Lorraine kind of working with maybe journalists, and kind of there was some police presence, but not much. You know, there was a little bit there, but not to this level, not in an investigatory way with the police. So I think that's actually really unique. That's kind of right up my alley. So I like that kind of direction. I think it's pretty cool. And I think it actually works really well with kind of Ed and Lorraine's thing. You know, they've always, at least in the movies, obviously, they have been this very sort of procedural investigators just in and of themselves, right? They have always followed this kind of logical path through things. Obviously, Lorraine has the other realm or whatever stuff that she can do, but they've always approached it from a very kind of scientific, logical way, not always assuming that there's a possession, right? They assume that it's not, and then as they uncover it, then they kind of go down those directions. But I think that seems really interesting. We'll see kind of how it goes. But like I said, definitely a different vibe. At least from the trailer, it doesn't seem as scary. It seems more of this like kind of investigatory thing. But there's definitely some creepy stuff in there. That waterbed in the face. I mean, you just knew that. I mean, what? Like, come on, kid. Like, if there's a hand reaching up to you from your waterbed, maybe you shouldn't be like hanging out on it. But definitely, I'm glad waterbeds aren't really a thing anymore, because that would freak me out. If I had a waterbed, I'd probably be thinking about a hand reaching up all the time. But I like this. I mean, this is also still a period piece, like all of the Conjuring, the core Conjuring films have been, or really all of the Conjuring films, because this one is supposed to be set, I believe, 1981, so early 80s. So we had the 70s with the Conjuring 2, we had the 60s with the first Conjuring, and so we're kind of moving through the decades here, and so it's kind of interesting to see that, interesting to see the progression, and obviously we're coming back to a lot of the same issues that started to pop up even back in the first Conjuring film, but especially in the second, with Lorraine and kind of her ability to control, right, her powers or whatever they are, and her kind of fight against getting kind of overwhelmed by them and sucked in to, I don't know, whatever, hell or demon worlds or whatever. And it seems like we're getting that too, because, she's losing sense of where she is. Obviously, the literal cliffhanger there at the end of the trailer. So I'm on board. I mean, I was already on board. I already wanted to see this. I've been wanting to see this since it was first announced, but I'm really excited for this, and I'm glad we're finally getting it this summer, which is nice, because I already did reviews for all of the Conjuring universe movies last year, leading up to what was supposed to be a September release, but didn't come out, so I've already got those all set, and so I probably will end up at least rewatching these ones right before. But I'm excited for this. So that's just my take on this trailer, but what about you guys? Are you excited for a third Conjuring movie, or are you a little hesitant since James Wan is not going to be in the director's chair? Let me know in the comments below. Alright, so if you got some enjoyment or insight out of this reaction, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, please hit subscribe while you're at it to see more videos like this, as well as movie reviews. Till next time, this has been Alyssa with Mainly Movies, the way life should be.